name is Julie Strauss. I'm a senior program manager on the analysis services team. I work on the user interface for PowerPivot, and we have some really exciting features that will be available as part of SQL Server Code Name Denali with CTP3 that I will be talking to you about. Before we go there, though, I want to just give you a very high-level overview of what PowerPivot is for those of you who may not be familiar with it, and then we'll dive into the new features. So PowerPivot for Excel is a free add-in that is available with Excel 2010. It's available on Microsoft.com/BI for those of you who want to go and try it out already. PowerPivot for Excel allows Excel Power users to basically build their own BI solutions. So imagine I'm a sales manager and I want to analyze my sales. So I can pull data from structured data sources such as SQL, Oracle, DB2, etc. and do my analysis. But I can do that in any BI tool. Let's say I want to take that sales data and compare that with industry trends. Now, what is industry trends? It's data about how all my competitors are doing, how other companies in the same industry is doing. That is typically data that I either have on my desktop in a Word document, Excel document, or that I purchased online from the internet. Now I want to take these two sets of data and mash it up to do my analysis. That's really the sweet spot of PowerPivot. So what I do is I open my modeling environment, my add-in to Excel, pull in data from the structured sources. Now I copy-paste data, my unstructured data, and instead of, if I'm an IT pro, I'll go and define relationships between that data. All I want to do as an Excel user is go and analyze the data. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to build a pivot table and analyze my data. As I do that, we have added logic to automatically detect relationship, detect data types, etc., completely removing that complexity. And what we do in the background is essentially creating a semantic model on behalf of the user. So that's the really short version of what PowerPivot is. So let's move on to talking about some of the new features that is available with Denali. The first feature I would like to talk about is the diagram view. The diagram view is, without a doubt, the most frequently requested feature we had from V1. In V1, we had a data-driven view. You saw all the data you were working with in your tables. That makes sense from an Excel user perspective because that's what you used to from Excel. You validate that you're working with the correct data. However, the diagrammatic view is also super helpful in the sense that you see all your metadata, you see the objects you're working with. So when introducing a concept like relationships that is relatively complex and to understand, now seeing that in a diagrammatic view, you can very easily see how all the objects are related. So in terms of user interface, we've done a lot to ease that whole creation of relationships. You can simply drag and drop fields between tables and recreate the relationships. So it's a very powerful mechanism to kind of get a high-level view of this model that you're really building. So we did a lot of work to try and keep parity of the common operations between the two views. So whether you're renaming data or renaming metadata, deleting objects, hiding objects, you can do that in either view, so we don't have that flip back and forth. But there's some operations that really lend itself much better for a diagram view. So one, for example, will be creation of user-defined hierarchies, which is the next feature that I would like to talk to you about. So user-defined hierarchies basically allow the modeler to predefine a navigation pattern for end users. So let's say I'm an end user, I'm working in Excel, I want to see, analyze my product sales. So I want to see product category, subcategory, and product. Instead of dragging in these three fields in three different operations, what I can do as a modeler is predefine that navigation pattern. I right-click the three fields, say create hierarchy, voila, it's created, and immediately available for me in my field list to go and add when I actually do my analysis. So it's just one way of simplifying the way that the user interact when they do their analysis. So a very useful feature, also very highly requested from V1. The last feature I would like to talk to you about is perspectives. Perspectives, you can really think of it more as a corporate BI feature, but very, very valuable in terms of self-service analysis as well. Perspective is essentially a view that you can define. So you can have one large semantic model where you have, let's say, all your data in one model, but you can now define perspectives for your different user groups. So you can have one sales team that wants to see kind of all the tables that are related to sales. You can have a HR team that only want to see the fields that are related to their data, the employee data, etc. So now you have one larger model, but you can define different segments of that data and expose them to the end users as perspectives. So that means for the end user, as you interact with the field list, you're limited to see only those fields that are relevant for your analysis, meaning we remove all that complexity. So again, another great feature that we think is really going to help the end users interacting with PowerPivot. So that was a high-level overview of 3 very exciting features that will be available with CTP3. Now, we really would like to hear feedback. So I would like to ask you to go to Microsoft.com/Denali, download CTP3, play with it, test it, and give us some feedback. Thank you, and enjoy your modeling.